Do you know that just one late payment will drop your score 100 points? Never mind two. And I'm sure you will agree with me that just two late payments will decimate your score. Well, I got good news for you. In this video, we're going to look at three laws out of the Fair Credit Reporting Act that may help you to remove these negative items from your consumer report. Well, let's get right into it. Let me share my screen with you. Hold on. Let's see here. All right. So here we go. So the first law that we're going to look at in the Fair Credit Reporting Act is 15 USC 1681A, definitions, rules of construction. Now let's go down to section 2. If we go down to section 2 right here, it's entitled exclusions. And let's read it. Except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include. That means that these are items that do not belong on your consumer report. A, subject to section 1681S-3 of this title, any report containing information solely as to transactions or experiences between the consumer and the person making the report. Okay. The question is, what is a transaction? Late payments are transactions, right? Late payments are part of your transactional history. So when we look at payment history, we notice 35% of your overall score is worth 192.5 points. So if transactions are indeed late payments and late payments are transactions, then that means that they do not belong on your what? Consumer report. It doesn't say credit report, right? It says, except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include, right? Transactions or experiences between the consumer, that's you and the person making the report. In this section, person means any outside entity. It could be a government entity, nonprofit. It doesn't make it doesn't make a difference. Any outside entity, right? So you really could construct a letter saying, I demand that you exclude the following transactions from my consumer report, and that would get the late payment removed. But be very careful, because sometimes it'll remove the whole account. But once again, I demand. Why do I say demand? Because it's your consumer report. No one can tell you what to do with it. It's your report. I demand that you exclude. Why do I say exclude? Because it's under the section titled exclusions. I demand that you exclude the following what? Not late payment, but transaction from my what? Consumer report, not credit report. I demand that you exclude the following transactions from my consumer report. Right? Let's go to another law, because I want to keep you guys long. 15 USC 1666B, timing of payments. Now, when it comes to credit cards or any open account, let's look and see what it says. A, time to make payments. A creditor may not treat a payment on a credit card account under an open end credit plan, aka credit card, as late for any purpose unless the creditor has adopted reasonable procedures designed to ensure that each periodic statement is included in the following required by Section 1637B of this title and is mailed or delivered to the consumer not later than 21 days before the payment due date. So ask yourself a question. Have you ever got any correspondence at all from the consumer prior to getting a late payment? Anything? No, the late payment just showed up. They never sent you anything. So they're direct violation of the law. And if they did send it, where did they send it to? Did they send it to the proper address? So if they say they did send it, then now they have to prove that they actually did send it. It's not just because they said they did. It doesn't work that way. Let's look at this third law. 15 USC 6802, obligations with the respect of disclosure of personal information. Let's look at this. B is opt out. In general, a financial institution may not disclose your non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party unless, let me unpack that for you. Let's say it's Capital One, which is the financial institution. Capital One may not disclose your non-public personal information. Well, what is that? The account number, the balance, your social, right? Your address, any of that information is non-public personal information to a non-affiliated third party, like TransUnion, Equifax, and Experian. They're not affiliated with Capital One. They're two totally separate entities. They're not related. They're not, the parent company is not the same. They're non-affiliated third parties. But it says unless, so that means it's conditional. Not that they can't do it, but it's conditional. So what does it say? A says such financial institution clearly and conspicuously discloses to the consumer in writing or in electronic form or other form permitted by regulations prescribed under Section 6804 of this title, that such information may be disclosed, not will be disclosed, but may be disclosed to such third party. But look at B. Let me blow this up a little bit because I want you guys to really see this. The consumer, that's you and I, is given the opportunity before, not after, before the time that such information is initially disclosed to direct that such information not be disclosed to such third party. So Capital One has to contact you to let you know that they may disclose the information, but you, the consumer, have the right to let them know that you do not want them to disclose that information. And let's look at C. The consumer is given an explanation of how the consumer is to exercise that non-disclosure option. So let me ask you, have you ever been contacted by that creditor who put that late payment on your consumer report to let you know that they may disclose it, but also gave you an explanation of how you can exercise your non-disclosure option? Has that ever happened? No. No, it doesn't happen. So there are three ways you can attack a late payment. Number one, we can go back to exclusions, right? Except as provided in paragraph 3, the term consumer report does not include. And you can stack the laws together. You don't have to use just one. You can stack them together because in each and every one, I've proved to you that they violated your consumer rights by doing so. So you can use this law, right, entitled exclusions. You can use 15 USC 1666B, especially if it's a credit card or any type of open account. Open, what does it say? An open-end consumer credit plan. And then last but not least, you can use this one, 15 USC 6802, obligation with the respective disclosure of personal information, go down to B1, right? A, B, and C, because they violated your rights when they didn't give you the ability to opt out. So, guys, I didn't want to hold you long. Hopefully this helps. And follow me, subscribe to the channel. Also, you can always find me on TikTok. I am King of Credit. I'm out. Talk to you later.